Welcome all. My name is Jed, Director of the HR Market, for our hashtag Recruit Better webinar. So the webinar has come about off the back of our external recruitment reviews, whereby we go out on site and support our customers to ensure best practice for their talent acquisition. So that's to look at their strategies, processes and systems for recruitment and driving improvements, efficiencies and cost savings. So we love the work we do on site with customers, partnering to, as I say, implement best practice. We come away from it with ideas and we hope that we do a good job for those customers on site. We've had some great feedback accordingly and we've been lucky to support some leading brands around it. So the session has been put together off the back of those recruitment reviews. They're certainly not designed to tell you how to suck eggs, and they're certainly non-exhaustive tips. So it doesn't cover everything, but we hope that it will assist you with your hiring. So the first point we want to look at is, do you already have the talent right under your nose? People leave organisations all the time because they feel that they've been overlooked. And does a developmental succession opportunity exist within your organisation when a role comes up? Is a secondment being overlooked? You know, far too often, as I say, businesses hire over the opportunity to develop, which is, you know, a crying shame when you've got talent that might exist within a different department. So that's one of the common pitfalls that can happen, and obviously it doesn't help attrition. Next, what skills do they need and what skills can be trained? Developing scorecards to use is absolutely key in this aspect. So looking at what soft skills are absolutely crucial to the role and what technical skills are absolutely crucial. What you find is within a lot of advertising, within recruitment, it's an endless list of must-haves. We want you to have this, you know, whereas it should really be a narrow scorecard used for hiring managers to really drive consistency within the process and to focus down what they're looking for. So, as you know, as aside from job specs, in fact, they can be used as kind of a job spec, but more for your internal recruitment interviewing. Scorecards are a fabulous way, you know, using bullet points to really draw out what's key for the role. So I would highly recommend utilising them. It also avoids, you know, perfect candidate syndrome where you're looking to tick all of the boxes when really, you know, a lot of the skills can be developed, but there are some crucial ones that you need to have on your scorecard that will keep you on track. Also, decide who's leading the process. You know, often there can be a bit of a disjoint between the people function and hiring managers, and that responsibility can cause the process to break down a little in terms of communication. So map out your SLAs to again drive consistency, and that will help really. Like, as I say, creating those scorecards, creating SLAs, and making sure that the onus is placed ideally upon one person to manage the process. Next, cast the net far and wide. So here at the HR Market, we pride ourselves on our thoroughness, our attention to detail, and our tireless approach when it comes to partnering with our customers. Casting the net far and wide is all about, you know, our multi-channeled and multi-phased recruitment. We're, you know, recruiting behind the scenes, even when we've got interviews scheduled, to make sure that we're not missing a trick. And by casting the net and using different talent attraction strategies, we feel confident that we're not only doing a great job for our customers, but we're doing a great job for ourselves, and that, you know, our expertise is bringing the best talent possible. So, you know, for us, advertising is not recruiting. The best talent is rarely on the job boards or applying for roles. Really, they're more inactive and passive most of the time. So that involves talent pipelining and using social media, which obviously a lot of businesses do these days, But when you do advertise, also make sure, for us, advertising is the last resort. But when you do advertise, make sure it's all about the WIFM, what's in it for me, and not just, you must have this, we want you to have this. That doesn't, appeal or attract anybody. So make sure that you're really drawing out what's going to be great for this person by sort of joining your organisation. Also, use your existing employees. We find from the work that we've carried out, on site, that employee referral schemes and incentivised ones are not necessarily as prevalent as you would expect. So if you haven't got, an employee referral scheme in place that offers an incentive for referring people to the business, then certainly get one in place. You've got all of that resource within your staff numbers to be able to, draw in the right type of people. People are not going to refer people to your business who, they wouldn't recommend and wouldn't necessarily to work with as a colleague. So, utilize your existing employees is a great way for talent attraction. And also encourage a social media sharing culture on LinkedIn. It multiplies your reach in terms of being able to attract people to your organisation, and partner with your in-house marketing team also. People functions and marketing are working arm in arm more than ever before. And it's not surprising with social media having the impact that it has. So make sure that relationship is strong and that you're utilising your marketing team, often for content, great content, whether that be, videos of employees and showcasing them from an employee branding perspective as well. On the agency side, make sure that you're partnering exclusively with your chosen suppliers. Over the years, I've come across a number of occasions where there's multiple agencies recruiting to the same role, which is absolutely ludicrous. By partnering exclusively with an agency, you're showing commitment to that agency. Your vacancy will be prioritised over, it being ranked in accordance with, how many other agencies might be working on a different role that agencies, working on at that particular time. So make sure that your, vacancy is prioritised by giving that commitment to your chosen agency, and meet with them regularly, at least biannually, so that they thoroughly understand the culture and the business and the challenges that you face, and provide them with thorough briefs. That's really key. The more time you invest in the brief, the more, again, commitment you'll get from that agent, who will understand the requirement and therefore will be able to sell the role to, applicants, and sell the business to applicants. So that's really key, providing that thorough brief. By partnering with an agency exclusively, the candidate journey is also going to be consistent, so it's going to protect your brand. And by partnering exclusively, you're going to save yourself valuable time as well. So create a non-contractual, relationship-driven PSL to back up your supplier arrangements. That gives you that agility and flexibility to take on board an agency outside of any contractual obligations where there's a need, and make sure you have a first-tier supplier and a second-tier supplier for each of your different business areas, and make sure naturally they're specialists in those areas as well when you're doing that. So recruitment's all about making it snappy, which is the next point I wanted to go on to. To increase the control and reduce risk within recruitment, which is what it's all about. It's about engaging. It's about making sure there's control and making sure you're reducing risk in the process. Make sure that your recruitment drives last no longer than 2 to 3 weeks in length. The longer a recruitment drive goes on, the more likely you're going to lose talent in this pacey world that we live in these days around talent acquisition. So make the experience enjoyable and efficient for applicants, and make sure you're providing feedback to all and not just a chosen few when it comes to closing down an advert. So making it snappy is going to really, help you attract the best talent. And 2 to 3 weeks is a really good time frame to ensure that. Be thorough. So we spoke earlier about, casting the net far and wide. Thoroughness and control comes from knowing your applicants and knowing that they will have other opportunities in the pipeline, not just the opportunities, the opportunity that they're in process with you over. So, one big thing that you can do to improve your talent acquisition, improve your control and reduce risk is to introduce a pre-screening call or Skype call to better understand their motivations and their general search and where they're up to with it, not just how suitable they are for your role, because it could be that they're suitable for another position within the organisation. And certainly asking them for referrals of people they know from their network who could be suitable for another role that you're recruited to within your organisation is a great way, again, for driving referrals in the process. So, personality profiling is great for being thorough also. And Thomas International, I would have to say, is fantastic for PPAs and, GIAs as well, general intelligence assessments and personality profiling. And also performance-based assessment, making sure that some form of performance-based assessment is included within your interviews. Always have more than one interview process naturally, so you can see an applicant over 2 days and get an idea of, that person. And also ensure that the person vacating the role is not doing the interviewing. This can be a common flaw when it comes to bias. And on the sort of subject of unconscious bias, which is highly topical at the moment, one organisation that we supported ran a great process whereby they removed names, dates and educational establishments from CVs and ensured that they had an independent shortlister within the organisation doing the shortlisting, who was then not likely to have any unconscious bias when it came to deciding who they wanted to call forward for interview, which was really refreshing to see, because I know this isn't, a practice massively adopted across organisations at the moment. So a great way there to, reduce and remove unconscious bias from the process. So, it's always, if you've always done, or if you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always got. It's a common phrase, but what I'm getting at here is pigeonholing, looking for candidates from a specific industry. You only have to look on LinkedIn and Teams to see, where an organisation is specifically pigeonholing for industry type. Now, from an innovation perspective, this is damaging. It's not very kind of inclusive. It reduces diversity. So, be open-minded when it comes to your recruitment. Don't pigeonhole around candidates from a preferred industry, and that will massively help in terms of innovation within your organisation off the back of good talent acquisition practices. When it comes to your offer, avoid lowballing. Many processes fall out of bed because somebody's offered either the same or fractionally more than what they're on, or the lower end of a scale, salary scale that is. So, avoid lowballing, go for, best and final offer first is what I always say to our clients. What you offer as a starting salary to a potential employee, should I say, will either massively engage or disengage them, motivations wise from the get-go, really. They might walk away from the opportunity, or they might come in a little deflated because it speaks volumes about their worth and how you see that, really. So for budget reasons, never lowball, offer the best offer that you can first time round. Also, once you have offered and an offer's been accepted, mind the gap. We're talking about properly inducting people into your organisation here, which is part of the recruitment process. So that can be an invite in for a coffee with the team, lunch with the team, to attend an event with the team, an award ceremony, to attend a meeting that the team's having. All of these engaging sort of ways that you can implement that better induction is going to assist. And people feel vulnerable between their offer stage and start date, and making sure that you get a lot of face-to-face with them is a great way to make them feel comfortable and part of the brand before they even start with you, and including them, and even getting them to look at projects that they're going to be working on ahead of them starting is great, because often people are on garden leave and what have you. So minding the gap and making sure that you're properly inducting and encouraging involvement is really key. And again, it reduces risk in the process of somebody coming along and inviting them to interview from another business and really engaging them and doing what you've not done effectively, and you're then losing the talent. One massive thing that really surprises me is the lack of investment within talent acquisition, full stop. What does not having an in-house recruiter in place say to the wider market when it comes to your business? Recruitment is not prioritised as much as it needs to be by a lot of businesses. They don't see the value of it, which is massively surprising when talent attracts, or should I say, talent really is the fundamental backbone to any business. It's really surprising that often somebody's trying to do the recruitment within a people function as part of a generalist role, generalist remit, as opposed to having somebody who's full-time and specifically managing the talent acquisition. So doing all the proactive and not just the reactive business as usual work to make sure that you get the best people. And salaries on the back of that are surprising as well. What you advertise that you're looking to pay for a full-time talent acquisition person within your team, again, speaks volumes to the outside world as to how you value talent acquisition, full stop. So, ultimately it's about investing internally in the critical area, which is, recruitment, to get the best talent that you possibly can. With your recruitment, it's vital that you are measuring and continually monitoring via KPIs, recruitment KPIs, monitoring performance quarterly to work towards and obviously measure against, looking at areas such as average time to hire, direct versus agency hire percentages, retention rates of new hires, spend versus budget, secondments and the number of those, employer referrals, reasons for vacancies, proactive versus reactive recruits, so direct over, or should I say, advertised or found, number of non-starters, a new starter feedback of their candidate journey. And finally, always be recruiting. The reactive back foot approach is to only recruit when a vacancy arises, which comes about by not having a specialist fundamentally to manage all of your recruitment. So, as I said earlier, advertising is really, it's kind of our last resort. Naturally, we do it because you do attract candidates from that methodology. However, it should be about no standing starts. It should be about having a talent pool already. And a lack of resource in the talent acquisition space will only result in a reactive recruitment process. So one full-time internal recruiter who can be talent pipelining, succession planning, cost saving, providing feedback, offer management, nurturing key stakeholder relationships, onboarding, engaging, branding, just to name a few of the added value activities that such a recruitment resource would enable. It's about always be recruiting, always be proactively trying to attract talent. And yeah, they're the areas we wanted to cover, and we really hope that that's been of some help for you. Email us to info@the-HR-market with any questions that you have. If you'd like any support from us. The external recruitment reviews that we mentioned are charged at £350 plus VAT a day, and they can take anywhere from sort of 3 days plus, depending on the size of the organisation, the nature of the projects that you like our support with. If you're looking for assistance on the search and selection side, we place across HR and head office functions, all levels, all industry sectors, on an interim and a permanent basis. And again, we'd be delighted to support you. For us, it's all about the 3 R's, where we say it's about the results. We maintain a 100% placement record and a customer service satisfaction rating of outstanding. It's about relationships and the experience that we provide and that trusted partnership. And it's also about reward. 5% of our placement profits are donated to a charity of our clients' choosing, and our loyalty discount scheme rewards our customers by discounting £1,000 off subsequent vacancies once we've placed with you the first time. So, if you're looking for assistance for any HR head office roles, then do get in contact. www.thehrmarket.com. Check us out on there, and also follow us on LinkedIn for all job opportunities, events, industry relevant materials, offers, vlogs and blogs. Become part of our community on there. And thank you for listening.